Hello, parents, caregivers, friends. Welcome yet to another episode in conversation, all things ECD. All we are talking about is our children and how we can best support our children. Today, we are graced by the beautiful BookDash director, and she's going to introduce herself. Please tell us who you are and why should our parents listen to you?
Thank you so much, Glenda. I am Thembalethu Shangase, aka Thembi. Please always call me Thembi. Thembalethu is the name that my parents shouted me with. So, yeah, and I am from BookDash. And why should you listen to me? I think I'm an epitome of a child who had access to books very early. So, from a very, very personal level, I completely understand what it means when parents invest in giving you that very first storybook. I got my first set of storybooks, which I shall not mention the name because it's not time for their advertising, when I must have been between 5 and 6. And those books carried me from childhood right through primary school and probably the first year of high school as well, because it was a comprehensive set of books. Um, and more than that, it was a companionship with the books themselves. It was an opportunity to see worlds that I had not known. So my love for adventure, for travel, for other cultures, for food, for all of that emerged from that very first early access to books. And because I had them at home, it meant I could go back and forth anytime. And like I'm saying, I used them for years because they were mine. There was no library that I had to return them to. And also became a really fun time with my parents. And there was that shared bonding and that moments of sharing the stories. So I think, if anything, being a black soil child, I can say from experience, it's the best investment you can actually make for your child from as early as possible. And I think that's why we should be listening to each other with the parents.
So, Book Dash talks about book ownership, right? Can you just dive deep into what is it that you guys do at Book Dash? Just for the parents to also understand the work of Book Dash.
Yeah, fantastic. So, BookDash, we've been around for since 2014, and we really gather the creative might of creatives around the country and other countries as well, who, in an innovative challenge, create these lovely books that you can see. And these are books that are then translated into South African languages as well as sign language. And what inspired us was seeing the statistics around reading for meaning in South Africa, the statistics that still actually haunt us as a country, right? And the founders of BookDash came from a publishing space and they could see the trade statistics of how many books were being sold, which is like children's books. In African languages versus those in English and Afrikaans. And there was significant skew towards Afrikaans and English. And I think for them, it became quite evident that we can't be solving reading for meaning and literacy in schools if there actually aren't books in the home, because that's where it starts. You know, literacy doesn't start in the classroom in the ECD with the teacher teaching you the phonetics and the alphabets and teaching you all the symbolism. It actually starts at home. It starts pre-birth, you know, in that very first engagement with the parents. And that's why we're so big on ownership, because a child gets to hold, feel the book. The parent gets to share in that. And that's where the bonding comes, you know. If you think of a child that's ages 0 to 3, you know, you might not be reading a book that has words. You might be reading a wordless book, or even if it had words, right? There's things that attract the child at that gap of 0 to 3. The development that's happening in a child's brain is monumental. They are recognizing faces, they're recognizing sounds, they're recognizing color. And so when a child has access to a beautiful designed book that is bright, that is colorful, they start to see things that they can, you know, recognize in that particular book. They get drawn to those colors, even though they might not know what it is. You know, they get drawn to it. From a parent's perspective, now imagine, I'm going to try to find a nice picture. Imagine you putting baby to sleep. Maybe you're holding them on your arm, or maybe you're rocking them on the cradle and you're going to pick up a little book and you start reading. That reading to the child starts to create a soothing, and it creates a bonding and attachment, and it creates safety. And safety is so important for children to learn. When you feel safe and secure and you've got loving attachment, you can actually read and you can learn and you can be in a space where you can pick up all the other different types of literacies, as we call it in early years, whether it's emergent or it's you want, and that's why the ownership is really for us so important, because children get to revisit the stories over and over, and there aren't time constraints for libraries.
I know the picture reading or wordless book case study that was done in actually in Kailicha, and I always get so inspired about the stories that come from our own people. I remember even now my 12-year-old started reading the wordless books, picture reading. And I would often worry because she's looking at the pictures and she's drawing her own deduction of what is happening in this book. And for me, it showed how creativity starts, because when she gets into the classroom now, she's in grade 7, she's able to write creative writing, right? She's able now to imagine herself or imagine the world that she wants to be in and be able to write the story that she wants. But that started from those wordless books early on.
Yes.
So when we talk about literacy, what is your first take when you say to a parent, what is this literacy thing? Just break it down to a parent that says, I hear you talk about books, then there's the word that talks about literacy, then there's the foundational literacy. What is all this? Just in simple terms for our parents to know what we are talking about.
I think for me it's how children learn, and learning, it's not only in the formal way in class. It's learning how to recognize a tree, a butterfly, and this is what we would then call emergent literacy in the technical term. But it's walking with a child down the street, your 3-year-old, you're taking her to the shop because she's not in preschool yet, but you're taking her to the shop, stopping and asking her, when the traffic light turns red, what color is that? That in its own is also starting to pick up some literacy there. That cognition, that ability to associate the color and recognize it. Asking them, can you see the taxi? What's in the taxi? It's that exchange of language. Those are the building blocks for literacy. And then when you get into school, there's of course the more in depth, which is the formal language development, the phonetics, the ways of learning. And I think if we bring it right back to books and early introduction, it's about starting a child on a journey to learn and experience the world around them through books, and through the world that they see, and being able to associate the world that they see with certain words, that they're learning through the engagement that they're having with you as a parent.
So for parents that have got books at home, I know you also encourage sharing or swapping of these books. Is that based in research? What is that all about?
Yeah. So definitely based, it is research based. What the sharing of the actual books and the exchange of the stories, what actually creates that socio-emotional bonding. It's the shared reading that we encourage. So not only you reading to the child, but actually reading with the child. I mean, we can do a little bit of a demo where in that interaction, that serve and return type of interaction, you get that attachment. Also, you get it not just with the parent, but any caregiver, even with the peer that's there. You pick up those those critical social sort of moments that happen between the child and the parent. And then the shared reading is also just more joyful because there's no anxiety for the child, right? When it's forced reading and we're saying it's time to read your books, you must read so many words, and the pressure is about the child recognizing the word, it takes away the joy of reading. And we're all about introducing the joy and the love of reading, because anything that you love and that you enjoy, you do freely without any pressure or anybody forcing you. And in our study, there's a project that we did together with WordWorks and Nalibali, Yuzani Sifunde, which was based in the Eastern Cape. And in that study, we found that when children owned the books, they started giving a gentle nudge to the parents and the household to actually read to them because they had the book. They'd read it in the ECD and then they'd come home and they're the ones that are asking for it because of the way it was introduced, the rhymes that are embedded in the books. Because we spend a lot of time with our creatives before they write the stories, coaching them and introducing them to what makes a really high quality children's book, making sure there's rhymes, embedding some numeracy, the color, making sure that the story is fun. It's something that they want to pick up. And even the wordless books, it's the story must tell itself as much as possible. And you're mentioning you worry about your daughter reading it in various ways all the time, but that's the beauty of a wordless book. It's meant to be that. It's meant to spark creativity. It's meant to spark critical thinking. It's meant to spark the recognition. I mean, let's do a demo with one. This is Lifa's Bath, right? It's a wordless book as well. And so if we're reading with, let's say, a 3-year-old, we're in a class, or if we're not in a class, it's mom, would be okay. This is our book. It is Lifa's Bath. Okay, let's see what Lifa is gonna do. Who is Lifa? Is this Lifa? Do you think this is Lifa?
That can be Lifa.
That can be Lifa? Let's see. Let's see. Well, oh, I think that might be Lifa because I don't see any other child. Okay, what is Lifa doing? What do you think Lifa's doing?
Lifa is
What's happening
getting
here?
water perhaps for the cows, or is she going to wash the cows? I'm seeing soap and
soap?
a blanket.
Yeah.
Now I'm confused. Is Lifa going to be washing the blanket, or is the water for the cow, or are we washing the cows?
Well, this is our story. What do you want it to be? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it
You
would be
tell me.
great if we can give the cow a bath.
You think we're going to give the cow a bath? Okay. So Lifa is getting some water, and we think Lifa is going to give the cows a bath. Is Lifa really going to give the cows a bath? Let's see what happens next. Oh, what happened to the water? What do you see?
I think the cows have finished the water.
You think they finished the water? How did they finish the water? Oh,
The water is gone.
the water is gone. What might have happened to the water?
I think the cow has drank the water.
Cows have drank the water, so
So it's not a bath anymore.
not a bath anymore. Man, okay, we don't know. Lifa fetched water and the cows drank the water. Let's see what's going to happen next. Oh, what do you think Lifa's
Okay,
doing now?
Lifa is getting more water. Perhaps I'm seeing also ducks.
You think,
I'm not sure if the ducks also thirsty, or we're still gonna doing some bathing. Not sure.
Not sure.
Not sure now.
Okay, so maybe Lifa is pouring water for the animals to drink.
Okay.
Maybe, we don't know. Let's
But
see.
what is the soap for?
Well, we don't know. What do you think? We'll only know as the story
Okay.
evolves.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Lifa's gone to get more water. And
Okay.
what's happened? What do you see?
I think the ducks are swimming.
The ducks are swimming in the water, right? I think the soap is still there.
The soap is still
soap
there,
is still
and
there.
the blanket is still there.
Blanket is still there. We don't know yet what Lifa's doing. Okay, and then
And the water is gone again.
let's look at Lifa's face.
Lifa is angry because I'm now thinking Lifa wants to wash the blanket and the animals keep on playing with her.
Do they keep playing with her? How do you normally feel when things don't go your way?
Lifa's face looks angry, so I'm thinking she's now angry.
She's angry. Okay, let's see if Lifa's going to be able to get these animals under control. Lifa goes back and gets more water and pours it in.
And I'm looking at the piggy coming through.
Do you think what do you think the piggy's gonna do?
I think the pig is probably going to drink the water.
You think the
also.
pig is let's see if the piggy's gonna drink the water. Oh, let's watch. What sound does a piggy make? Do you know? Yes, the piggy makes it. There we go. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You remember.
Oh my word,
Oh,
the piggy.
The piggy.
Lifa is definitely going to be angry now.
Oh man, let's see. See if I can control his emotions. Okay. Oh, look at Lifa. He's
I can understand Liffy. Look at her teary eyes.
Lifa wants to cry. And the piggy didn't just drink the water. What's happened to the bucket?
It all fell over and the piggy is running.
And the pig is naughty piggy. It's
Very
running
naughty,
away. Running
very
away from the
naughty.
damage.
How sad.
Poor Lifa. What do we do when Lifa cries? What should we do?
I think I could give Lifa a hug.
A hug?
Okay. She needs a hug.
She needs a hug. We'll give
and perhaps a nap afterwards.
We'll give Lifa a virtual hug and a nap afterwards. And look at the animals. Do you think
they look sorry?
They look sorry. They can see that they've upset poor Lifa. Let's see how the story continues.
And everybody is now helping Lifa.
So
I'm so happy.
Yeah. And I think Lifa is also happy too. Amazing. And this pretty much is what would happen with the wordless book.
Oh, Lifa just also is the one bathing at the end.
So the title of the book is Lifa's Bath.
It's lovely. Like this is what we want our parents to do, to be able to engage with your own children at home. It doesn't necessarily have to have books with words. Like picture books also can do the trick, especially at ECD level. So we're not expecting you to have like lots of words to be able to read for your children, but just that engagement, that trust that is built with your child in that process. It's actually reminding me, my husband does the whole reading thing with my kids. And I get so jealous sometimes because they've got their own inside jokes because they will be discussing Horrid Henry. And they would be like laughing at something in the book and I'm like left out. Or sometimes my eldest will be reading to the 8-year-old, and they will have their own inside jokes. And I'm like left out again. So, like, I mean, there's that level of trust that happens, and I can truly say that myself. Like, children cannot learn when they do not feel safe, heard. By creating the bond to read with your child, to get that understanding. Even through that book, you're able to gauge their emotions where they are. So it brings out a lot, parents. So we are encouraging you to make sure that the reading takes place at home. And we are so thankful to BookDash for the donation of books that now we will be donating to our learners that are in Philippi. Each child is going to own a couple of books at home. So the parents, whether granny, auntie that is looking after the kids, you can actually do the reading,
And Glenda, if I might add, the beauty of like the wordless books, right, is that the literacy level of the reader is immaterial. It's literally about the story being created in so many ways. If you think of how we created the story, it was the water, maybe there's a bath. It was a curious adventure of what might happen. In another setting, you might find that the child says, I'm seeing Lifa do this, I'm seeing Lifa do that, I can see a cow. Or they might tell the whole story that, oh, Lifa's going to try bath. And it becomes this curious adventure between the person and the child that's actually reading together. And, it reduces that anxiety from a caregiver or someone who's not feeling confident in their reading to actually read. And that's the beauty of this books as well. And and I think our books, the other part is they also come in African languages. So you get titles in isiXhosa. This is a Zulu one, Ulala Ganjani, which is a translation of how do you sleep. And so the parents in Philippi will be getting books that are also in their home language. And it's an opportunity to also start to rear up that kind of reading and understanding in the home language, which we all know is so important.
We are so grateful for you.
Grateful for you.
What else is BookDash up to these days that you would like our parents, our viewers to know about? Any final words?
Final words is a word of appreciation, I think, to the ecosystem and partners such as yourselves. You know, we, with our creatives, create the books, and we enjoy that part. It's so beautiful. We get them translated, but we really believe the magic happens with partners such as yourselves, who are able to get into the communities, get the books into the hands of children that really need them, because that's our motto. You know, it's children that need the books that we know could not otherwise be able to go into a store and buy a whole set for themselves because the books are so highly priced. So it's an appreciation and gratitude to all of you championing literacy and book ownership on the ground, on behalf of us, and I think on behalf of the whole education sector, and making that difference to all the children that you give the books to. Thank you.
Thank you, Thembi. Thank you to our parents also for listening. Till next time, join us on the next conversation. Again, give us questions or suggest who should we have the next conversation with. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Till next time.